As we discussed about few views, actually, I think we discussed only a table and pivot table. But today we are going to discuss about other things as well. Can you just draw? Yeah. Yes, go ahead. Hello. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, that's what I think you are not following my class actually. I have shown you why it is not showing, and if you want to see this existing connection pool, you have to go to options, tools and options. There you need to select the checkbox. You can go and refer my class, then you can able to see. So whenever you're going to create a session variable, and if you are trying to use the existing connection pool, then you can go to the tools and no, options where you can enable that first connection pool. There is a name called first connection pool, I guess. You need to enable it. Else, if you don't want to go with that route, then what you have to do, you can go and create a separate connection pool. Yeah, that is true. I mean, that is a fundamental no, rule for when you are going to create a session variable. Session means what it is basically. Every session that has to be filed based on the variables you have created. That's the reason. With let's say in the vanilla RPD, you have n number of tables and n number of variables are associated on the existing connection pool. So what Oracle recommends is going to create another connection pool for any kind of system variables or non-system variables. But still, if you want to use an existing connection pool, then you can go and enable that first connection pool or something. There is a checkbox is that available. You can go and enable. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, it is mandatory, right? Else, then how the system will know that? No, fragmentation is not related to hierarchy anymore. So no. That's not the correct one, I guess. Impossible. So fragment. What is the fragmentation? Fragmentation is basically right. You might be getting a data from two different tables or more than two. So when you're going to get the data from more than two, what you have to do, you have to specify condition. That's it. But it is not nowhere related to your hierarchy. Mhm. No. Question is you are talking about the column mapping, content level column mapping, or just fragmentation? Yeah, that you have to, let's say that's what, right? I mean, if you already created a few tables, if you take a customer table and you have created a hierarchy out of that, and now you are splitting the tables based on the fragmentation. That means one table, one logical table, you have multiple LTS. In that case, you need to specify that. If you don't have hierarchy defined, then no need to do. But if you already specify the hierarchy, then you can go and do whatever you have it earlier. So usually the dimension table will always referring to the detail level. Yeah, otherwise not required. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. No, 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 that's what I'm see. I think you're confused again. See, you are going to dimension table. You have created a product hierarchy, but not for the customer hierarchy, and it is not related to your customer, right? So no need to do a content column mapping. It's not required for that. When you already created a hierarchy and customer table, then you can go and specify. Else, then you can ignore it. No, I'm very sorry to say that it didn't work. Means you have to show me something. So why, yeah, if you want, I can give you a presenter role and then you can show with us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, no, no. It was hitting first table because of you need to select the checkbox. The checkbox is, right, when you go to fragmentation and there is a checkbox, you need to please specify the level of content for the other. There is one more. I don't remember the name. You need to specify the checkbox. Yes. No, that's what, right, Mita. So what you have to do is after the class, I will give you a control, or maybe if you want, I think I'll ask other people to, if I want to continue with the same, then we'll right away will, because they want to also, they also know what your problem, right? So probably that would be better, I guess. Let me ask them, and then if they are ready to, accept that, then I'll give a presentation role. Okay. So hi team, I think Amita has some questions or clarifications on RPD. She is asking a few questions. Is that fine with you to the right now? What I would like to ask you. So do you have, or do I need to continue the class, or do I just go ahead and ask show her the issues what she is facing? What about others? So, Ravi, is that fine to discuss with her questions right now, or do I need to continue with this one? Okay. Ram Reddy. Okay, I think I have only one output. So Mr. Raja is asking us to continue, and Rajima is fine. So whichever is suitable, then she is fine with that. Anyhow, Raja. So I think John, and then Trudy is not joined. So probably some I am just trying to complete her issues whatever we have right now. So I'm going to discuss right now, and let me give a presentator role. Amita, I have given presentator role. Can you just share your screen? Yeah, I'm able to see your screen. That's fine. Yeah, tell me. Mm-hmm. Not required for you because this is a product dimension table and you are trying to talk about a customer table. Just ignore it. No, no, first you save and compile your RPD. Can you just compile your RPD? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, you not started your services, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think. No, no, no. That's not the one I think. No, no, not related to that. Don't select because you are selecting a product dimension table and you are in a customer table. How can you select? General, general. Go to connection pool. Allow last button. Allow first connection pool in the init blocks. If, if you go and enable it, then you can see this connection pool. Else, then you can able to see other. Create new. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Raja, can you share your screen, please? Okay, now we'll go and discuss about other views, and let me go and create. So last class we have seen about table and then pivot table. So those are the only two views we have discussed. And now we'll go and discuss more. I think I'll go and discuss only few major frequently used views. So any other questions on table and pivot table was, how to use and what is the difference between those two? So now other view is basically, let's say this is a table view, and let me go and generate one more view called a pivot table. And another view should be, I can go and use a graph. I think if you go to a graph also same, each and every view you might be having a exclude and prompt and section and other things. But exclude, prompt and section should be a common for all the views. So yeah, it's the same report. One report can be, represented in multiple views actually. I mean, so a single report can be go on visible or can be go on generated in multiple views. Now, what my intention is, so let's say I want to see one same report with a table and second one is a graph and pie chart. Assume that, right? If that is the case, it is very difficult. It is hard to drill down and drill up. Or side by side also, how can you able to match two or three? If you put more than three side by side, then you might be getting a horizontal bar also, right? So it is difficult. What the intention is in real time, let's say view selector is the one which is basically how many views are presented for the single report. That view selector will be acting as a drill down. Sorry, not drill down. It's a list of values. So I'll show you what that means. So when you go here, there is a other views which is called as view selector. It's most important was please try to understand. One report you are trying to one report is basically can be represented in multiple views, and what we can do, we can go and select whichever the view you required and dynamically. So that's way I'm going to select it here, view selector now. So how many views you have selected as of now for this report? All are showing here. Let me go ahead and use table, pivot table, graph, and then graph 2. I'll change the names later. And I'm just giving some name out of that. Click on done. Now you can remove all actually not required. So everything you can remove. So right now this is a view selector bus. By default it is showing here. This report is showing in table format. And let's say if you want to see something on graph, then go to graph. You can see the graph. That means dynamically which format you are looking for, you can play around that. And let's say if you want to see the pivot pie chart, you can go and see the pie chart. And now, so I want to change the names of graph to, I want to make yes pie chart. What you have to do is, I just control up. So this is a graph to, right? I want to rename it. This is a rename. Sorry, not edit. I'm sorry for that. So click on none. I don't want to do. I want to rename that view name. So go here. You have rename view. The moment when I change it here, it will change it here also. Now you got this a pie chart. And same way, if you want to change the bar graph and whichever is required here, you can go and choose. Now, what is a view selector? View selector is nothing but a combination of your multiple views and put it into one prompt. Or you can say this usually used called as prompt, right? Prompt will be acting as same thing, same functionality. So you can go and select whichever the view is required. You can go and use it. So view selector is the most one. If a single report can be represented or can be shown in multiple formats. If I say multiple formats means individual view. So then you can go and make that as a view selector, and then you can just put that view selector into your required area, which is a dashboard. Clear, boss? This is called as a view selector. You have any questions on this on view selector? And if you go to pie chart, I think pie chart actually it will. So same any view. I think as I explained, we have a prompt, we have a section, we have a exclude. So prompt section exclude is a default one, right? So you can go and change it to. Now, what is my intention is where which view is that? Is it a table? Pivot, not pivot table. Pie. I'm just trying to. Right now, the view is showing as normal 2D format. I want to make that 3D format. You can come here and then just change it to 3D. So now this is a format where you can select. So 2D and 3D, that is the difference between 2D and 3D. And also, I think, as I said earlier, so we have prompt, we have section, and then we have exclude. Those three are common for all views, right? And the rest of them, so what you already can go and play around those views options one by one. But remember, so those are the three things is available for every view. Okay. And if you want to change the colors, yeah, definitely can change the colors. But if you don't want to go with that routes, and then go to this here, and you can go and check that changes, color changes. You can just go and practice that individually, and then let me know if you have any issue. So now this time that is also changed as for the select. Okay. And now another view which I was talking about is basically column selector. Let me go. I'm going to select as a column selector. So I think view selector everyone knows. Multiple views you are having for a single report, and you want to show them as a selected way, or making maybe LOV list of values. Then you can go and use view selector. And column selector is basically again it's quite opposite to column level. Column selector is nothing but, let's say right now my report is showing 1 minute plus. My report is showing only uh, year and revenue, and on dynamically I want to replace my existing column. Let's say instead of year I want to select another column dynamically in the report output itself. In here you don't have an option to change. Let's say I want to add, you can go and add a column, but you cannot change it, you cannot replace the existing column. Right now I am seeing this measure values based on year. Now I want to change this year wise measure value to a half year wise or a quarter wise, without with replacing the existing column. That's our recommendation. Now if that is the case, what you have to do, you can go and use a column selector. Now I'll show you what that exactly. So go to column selector and edit the column selector now. So what my intention, what how many columns you are trying to see, so enable the column, just enable here. Now I'll go and add other information. You have to enable and then just select it. So it will go and add the column, month, quarter, and week. I'm just giving, if you want to give a date also, you can give, that's okay. Click on done. Right now, when you click on done, right now you are able to see the revenue based on your year, right? Now I want to change it to instead of year. So I saw that year was revenue, and I want to replace it to half year wise. So what is an half year wise? Now that year column is going to be replaced with your half year. Dynamically, the column has to be changed. So when you go and if you want to if you have this kind of requirement, you can go and use a column selector. Now you are able to see the data based on half year. A year is not going to shown here because you so dynamically I want to see my value based out of my selection, right? So column selector will be always representing on column level. View selector will be always representing to on multiple views. So need to understand the difference between the two. So what is column selector and what is view selector? Both are doing basically dynamically changing your selection. Even view selector also, I want to see only the table format, or if I want to see something on other graphical format, you can go and select it. But here you can go and select only one as of now, right? You can't go and select multiple views or multiple columns. That's not possible actually. And right now you saw that column selector with a table format. But if I don't want to go with the table format, and if you are going with a graph or something, then you can go and change your this one. Now you go and see quarter level, you can go and see or month level. So whichever is fine, you can go. So this is a very important role or key role in our real-time projects because the end users or maybe management see they want to see some data based on their selection. So dynamically they want to change the column. So that's how it will go and use it. These are the two major roles in your real-time was two. These are the views: table view, pivot table, and then graphs and pie chart, view selector, and column selector. So clear, boss. Any other questions on this one? Now I'll go on. So let me go and discuss another view, which is a trellis view, which can be introduced from the 11G 11119 onwards. So I'll go and use various trellis. Yeah, trellis view, and if I go to so individual column level, it will go and use show you a graph each column level. Let's say right now there are two columns in my area. So if you go there, go down. So now we can see the value based on the range. It will show you based on the range. Then where is our exact value sits here. Individual column level, so it will show you the graph representation. Usually the end users basically what happened, they will think about instead of go and display a number, so what they usually expecting is basically a graphical representation, which might be a bar or which might be a pie chart or everything else. So when you go and check that information, it's easily to when you see that eyes, so I think easily I can say signified, or I can say identified is very easy when you go and use a graphical instead of number. Identification is very simple, very easy for them to go with a graphical instead of number. And that's how. So they have introduced one more view called as trellis view. So that will be based on and if you want to change the color, yeah, that is possible. Go and edit the view, and you can go and change it there. And if you want to add this into view trellis view also, then what you have to do is go to view selector. Now I will go to view selector, add that view here. And that's it. Right now we're able to see view, and if you want to see the trellis, you can go to use trellis. Yeah, this is how the system is going to work first. And the rest, basically, I think if you go to all performance title, it will always go and show you only the quarter level results, or maybe I can say many specific quarter level. It is going to show you only the title. So let me instead of go and select this one. Let me change for one. More in regular cases, yeah, that's how we will show you the what is our highest value, or maybe what is a profit for this current quarter. So this kind of scenarios will go and use it. title view. So performance title. Okay, now this thing is, let's say I want to change it. It will right now it is speaking because there are multiple values, right? That is why it's speaking
Hello.
only first value. I will go and change it to here. So here first year value will go.
Oh, John, you can log in.
So
Class is
15,
going on,
yeah,
no?
50 M. It's a million M is million. So now you go and see that information later after.
Sorry?
So other in the real time you are going to use, I'll tell you what
It
kind
is
of views you are
different
going to
URL.
use.
I shared
Table,
you
pivot
the
table, view
you can
selector,
log
column
in that
selector,
URL.
and then other views also I'll tell you. So what is a narrative view? So I'll
John?
go and use.
No, 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 no.
So narrative view is basically you can give a
Take
custom
OBIEE. I shared in
description
our
based on
group.
the existing database value.
Ah,
So right now I think
okay, ma.
50M. What is 50M? We never know,
Class is
right?
going
So
on.
to add a context, to add a description out of the 50M, so that can be
Ah,
possible through your narrative.
no,
So
no,
let me add.
not that one, not that one.
So whenever we are going to use a narrative view, so you need to
Or I
specify,
take
let's say,
OBIEE.
total
Yes, yes. I shared in
revenue
our group that link.
for 2008 year. I'm just giving the description or a custom name, and then you can specify your position of that column name. So I'm just talking about revenue column, right? So revenue column at my position should be second position. I'll tell you what is that actually. And now I want to display rows per page is one. Now this is a custom message, and probably let's say you are going to highlight this one. So bold or italic you can add. Now the value is going to be bold. And if you want to add, yeah, these are all the list of custom cosmetic changes. But if you want, you can go and use this. Okay. So what is a narrative view? Narrative is basically whenever you're displaying or whenever you're talking about KPI, key performance indicator, which is a measure, right? So you want to add a description of that measure value. So you need to specify a description followed by your database value. So database value, how can I able to specify? In the criteria, I have two columns. On which column you are talking about, or which column you are giving a description. So my second position should be the revenue. That's where a narrative view I have created at the rate two. So that means second column this talks about. Let me delete all this. I will go and use table. Yeah, so it will go on display. It will go on display. This is basically 2008 value is 16. I think 16,500 something. So that is value. I'm just giving the description to this value. So that's how you can go and use a narrative view. Clear? And now I will go and add another one. So views basically. Trigger view is nothing but it's kind of sensex, right? So it will go and circulate based on this. So now you are able to see all the values when you go on. So simple thing is basically if you go on slide, scroll, if you go on scroll, that value is going to be scrolled based on left to right or right to bottom or down to top. Hello, Raja, can you just click on that drop down and down? Yeah, I got it now. Okay, and now if you want, these are the basic things where you just need to use this one. Let me go and use that right on that. So whatever I mean, this kind of information real time we are going to show you only when you talks about KPI. KPI is nothing but a key performance indicator at that specific item. So in my case, let's say I want to, whenever the company is producing a results on quarterly basis, they are going to do this kind of information. Or they want to see something related to each business area, then they will ask you to develop one trigger view and followed by the different colors. So whichever you want, you can go and use it. So trigger view and then narrative view, these are all only for when you talk about when you specifically talks about the number. So you can go and use this one, trigger and narrative views. And we also have a text, same kind of information. If you are writing some custom statement of that, then you can use it. So when you say test, when are we going to use a static text? I'll tell you. When you go and develop a report, and if you want to specify a description of that report, you can go and add that one. So use a text. Text is always go and use for giving a description of each report. So boss, these are all basically right. So just go and play around the options. And remember, when are we going to use it? Based on the requirement only. It's purely based on the requirement and how it looks like on the dashboard. So then this is an option. That's optional. Okay, I'll tell you. And another one is basically if you want to see any specific SQL query, which is a logical, not completely physical, but it is a logical query. It's not required for the end users, but maybe some of them are asking us, I want to see some query also how the system is generated. You can go and see that query. It's okay. This is a logical query. And what else we have? Segment create segment is not for Oracle databases. It's for another civil analytics. Okay, not for that. Yeah, legends and all. When you go on display, right, in the graph, right now, let's say if you say, and if you want to change the legends and all, where is graph? So usually the legends are showing about why it's not showing here. Hmm. Side, so we are displaying some icons, right, with icon, and then where is yeah, these are all called as the legends. And if you want to, whenever you just created a new view, and then if you are specifically talks about what is green color, what is red, yellow color, and what is blue color, so those are called as basically they are legends. Then if you are specifically giving some information based out of that view, then you can go and use the legends. So these are all I think we covered, nothing else. And here, so we have few things available here. You can go and play around those individually. And the most important views regularly using views are table, pivot table, graph, pie chart, and then view selector and column selector, and also a narrative view. But narrative clicker are very rare cases we are going to use. But you just need to know what is the significance of each. So these are all the default layout. I can say simple thing is a layout of your each report. For example, one question I would like to ask you. So whatever the de-seeded layout you have, so you are trying to give the seeded layout to the end user, but still end user is not satisfied with that layout, and he expecting more. That means he want his visualization in different format. If that is the case, how are you going to get that information into this report layer? So as of now, whatever the OBIEE tool is delivered, so we'll go and use that option and deliver to your end users. But still, they are not happy with that layout of the report, and they have their custom layout. And if you want to see that custom layout in your OBIEE report, so what is the issue? I mean, how are you going to develop it? Not issue, but how are you going to develop it? Is it possible for you to develop the custom report layout in OBIEE? I'm asking you a question, boss. My question to you, simple question. So customer has its own layout. He want to see his data on specific format. But if I say specific format, OBI is not going to give his specific format. OBI is its own serial formats. These are all the views, right? So views is basically it stacks up to specific. Yeah, and now I want to see his specific format on the OBI report. How can we? Yes, Amita is saying it should be, but can I know what concept is going to bring in? So yes, it is possible. That's true. But how are we going to deliver your report with your custom layout? So how to deliver the report with custom layout in OBA report? Any guess or any idea on this, boss? So I think you heard about BA Publisher. So BA Publisher is always talks about, let's say I want to give my custom layout or template design. You can go and design your layout, which is in template. There are two things here in BAP. It's either XML or, sorry, not XML, Word template or a XLS template. So you can go and design your template, and once you design the template, you can just export that template into your data model and then deliver your report. So by using a BA Publisher, where this BA Publisher is a add-in concept in the existing tool. So if you go and use, go to new and click on report, it talks about BAP only and XMLP server. If